wow, that's a doozy. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah. I think those what do they call those guys that mine for gold. They find a vein, you know, a gold vein. Well, I found a metal vein. I found a nice strip of a whole bunch of metal. We got this thing here, part of a disc, I think. And then this thing here, definitely part of a disc. And then whatever this is here. There's 2 pieces there. Earlier, I dug this up and staged it. It's a gear of some sort. Found all that. We'll go put that. Ooh, that's kind of heavy. Go put that in the thing. In the wheelbarrow. There we go. I found another one of these coil doohickeys. Found 2 more disc blades. Just randomly out in my yard. Now, if you ever think about moving out onto an acreage and you find a nice, quaint, old-looking farm place and you think, oh, that's kind of pretty neat. That's nice and romantic in the Old West sense, and it's got a lot of history, and that's beautiful. Yada yada yada. It's also got a lot of garbage. Some people don't pick up stuff. Whatever that is, that's metal. This is all metal I already dug up. Got a chain, something, this thing, whatever that thing is. Part of fence post, this thingy thing, whatever that is. Another disc, another coily thing, another part of a disc, more parts of disc. Another part, piece of whatever. Yeah. Look, we're just getting started. That's less than 10% of the yard that I've gone through. Oh, look, more. Found this. I don't know what that is. I haven't even got the metal detector out. This is just stuff I've kind of dug up already. Oh, look. A metal steel cable. Oh, yeah, that's fun to unravel. Oh, bolt. Nice bolt of some sort. That's cool. It's like the guy's just, like I was saying, if you think you're going to move out to a rural place or a country, you're like, oh, I want to get an old farmstead. It'll be nice and quaint. It'll have some history, and it'll be rustic. It'll be kind of trendy. Well, prepare yourself for a bunch of other people's BS. Because what's going to happen is you're going to find everything that someone else threw away or buried. If you try to do anything. Anywhere I put a shovel in the ground around this place, I find garbage. Bricks, glass, metal, all stuff completely worthless to me. And it's a huge cost of time. Whereas if it's like a fresh area that hasn't been really developed yet, hopefully someone hasn't buried a bunch of garbage there. I don't know what that is. Just saw that sticking up. Ugh. Alright. Let's get the metal detector. Here's one of my favorites so far. An old axle. Look at that. Solid. This is a solid bar. Feels dense. So I got that. And I got one of these other doohickeys. Not the chain. Whatever this thing is. Little coily metal thingy. Little axle thingy. Yeah. we're off to a good start. And it's giving it a rough depth. So a lot of this is at the surface. So if I run a tiller, the tiller's going to find all that and wrap it up. And I don't think anything's going to be worth money, unfortunately. Oh, look at that. It works. Not sure. Throw it in there. Oh, found another bolt. Or maybe a screw, looks like. Okay. I've walked from here to here. I've already found 3 or 4 pieces. This thing. Oh, wow, that's a doozy. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah. This area that you're just seeing, right through here, that stuff is this stuff. Basically, a little bit over that. And I got about 15,000 square feet I need to have safe for the tiller to go through.
Oh, come on! Oh, come on!
What are you doing back here? I don't think your Jeep's meant to go back here.
Oh, we were trying to go back home. But the Jeep didn't touch.
Go.
Oh no.
Drive forward. Okay, I'm going to do a little quick wrap-up video, or a quick shot to wrap this up. I went and got the loader, this barrel. I just put that barrel on there because it was sitting in the trees. And then I got the bucket. I want to show you, give you a little tour of the bucket. Well, for starters, there's this part where it's all tree roots and wood and stuff. Not a big deal. But my favorite is this stuff over here. And I'll give you a little tour. So this section here is what I'd call the metal. We'll start big. A plowshare. Found a whole plowshare. And then I didn't find this with a metal detector. As you can tell, it was a straight piece that's now turned into a curve. So that was found with the tiller. That was nice. This was found with, this is pretty cool. This was found with a metal detector. I think it used to shell corn with that, you know. And nice piece of sharp metal, big piece of sharp metal there. This thing off of a cultivator? Not sure why that whole thing was out there. And we found a gear or something. That's kind of cool. Yeah, just load of garbage. Little turn wheel thing. Maybe it was, I don't know what that was. And then here's the cherry on the top. Glass. Whole bunch of glass. This one. Look at that one. Lots of sharp edges on that. So we found some big pieces of glass. And what happened was, what you've seen so far is actually doesn't tell the whole story. I tried to till it once, and the tiller broke. So then I went through it with a disc twice. Disced it once, let some weeds grow up, disced it again. After I disced it multiple times, then I went through the metal detector, found most of this stuff. Then I was able to till it, so I tilled it. After I tilled it, I seeded it with grass, and I got a bunch of sprinklers, and I started watering everything. When I watered everything, that's when the glass started to show up. The glass would get cleaned off, and it'd start to shine in the sun, and it was easier to find. So I found all this stuff, and the thing is, like, this just represents 15,000 square feet of the farm place, actually a small fraction of everything that's around me that still needs to be cleaned up. And I just wanted to get one space expanded so I could expand the yard a little bit and let the kids run around and play. And what annoys me about the whole thing is my kids like to run around barefoot, and I don't fault them from that. That's what kids do. You know, great, awesome. But now I got to worry about this, all the stuff the kids find. And I know you're not supposed to speak ill of the dead, or you're not supposed to speak ill of the dead family members. Technically. I think culturally speaking, you're not supposed to. You can speak ill of the dead people, or some dead people. Like, I could say some disparaging things about Hitler. I would hope you're not going to disagree with me or protest too much. But as far as dead family members, and this might be true with your farm place as well, or your family, there's kind of a mythical status with the people who farmed before you. And some of it's earned. And maybe some of it wasn't. But there's some things, no one really gives them criticism. And this, I think, is worth criticism. Because this is kind of an a-hole move. To just, like, throw stuff. And whenever I tell people about it, like, anyone over 50 seems to be like, oh, yeah, that's how those old-timers used to do it. I'm like, we used to do it. There's no used to do it. There's no method or strategy. What the farm practice was it where you would just take a piece of metal and be like, hey, I just replaced this. What do you do with it? Well, maybe we should put it somewhere so it's out of the way and safe, but in a pile with everything else where we know where it's at. Or what do we do? You know what? Yeah! Problem solved. Well, it's not really solved. The problem's not solved. We just postponed it for someone else. Yeah, let them worry about it. So I would say this would be an error on the previous generation plurals, because this goes back a long time. This is an error on their part, where they've created a lot of work with the future generation. So, yeah, maybe it's a slightly uncouth to criticize the past generation, but you also got to consider I farm part-time, and my other job is that of a garbage man. And if you ever hang around garbage men or farmers, uncouth is quite common. As far as the choice of language, choice of words, can be quite colorful. I'm definitely part of that crowd. And my kids, unfortunately, or fortunately, and it's inevitable, they're going to learn some daddy words. Well, they definitely learned it during this project. So that's where we're at with this one. I call this one the time sink because as I worked on it more and more, it just took more and more time, and I have other things I need to do to make hay season go a little smoother because we just got started. We just got the first loads of hay into the shed. Not much, just enough to warm up the gear, warm up the equipment, and figure out some what works and what doesn't. And I got some digital projects I'm working on too. But this one's dumb. This is dumb. It's not even over yet. Now I gotta figure out where to put all this stuff.